MicheIe.
In English, everything I put
All right.
Oh, never, it's okay.
Straight. Hi everybody. I can't see the question that nobody's on. It's not showing.
No, yeah.
Oh, okay, okay.
Can make it bigger.
I'll make it bigger.
Click. Bưng nhiều thêm.
Pop. Pop up. Open in reading mode.
Cái that day 我係點樣做
No,
啊？
no, no. Different. Now different machine. No. Computer. Okay. Okay. This is the bottom.
Okay, I think I can see it.
No, you this one. Check out. Okay. But I want to see the video cannot. No. Okay. Like that. Okay. Yeah.
Screen is black.
Cameras now ready?
I can't really see myself. Okay. The last time I saw. All right. Good morning and good evening to everybody. Welcome to our live show once again. We have changed some of the settings here and there, so feel free to just throw me any questions, and I would like to share as much tips as I can today. I know in the last live I had a lot more questions, but we just couldn't do all of them. So hopefully today I'll be able to, cover most of the stuff as well. So it's nighttime in Malaysia. It's 9:30 p.m. So good evening to all our friends from Malaysia, Asia, and also the friends in the US or UK or Europe. Good morning. Tigers from the D. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Hope that the content's able to help you play better or get some sort of, hopefully the tips, work for you. Can you review a good hand position when striking the ball, driver, and irons? Okay. So, for me, I always think that if you are practicing on impact or how solid you're hitting the ball, it's better to start off with the irons first. Try to work on the swing, just make sure it's more consistent, and then move on to the longer club. Of course, the setup and everything, the difference for the setup of the driver and the irons can throw you off a little bit once in a while, but I still prefer to practice with the irons first to get a solid impact before moving up to the driver. So if you're talking about ball striking, okay, we all know for a fact that when we're hitting the ball, we're trying to like compress the ball a little bit, just gonna make sure we hit the solid, make sure we hit it solid and right in the center of the face. And recently I have got this device. I don't know if any of you had heard about it before. It's called the Hackmotion. I thought it's really pretty cool. I actually tried it on some of my students. It actually gives them a better idea on how to, I mean, it gives them a better idea because they can see the results. It just pops up in the app and they show you, and even have drills to work on as well. So if you are alone practicing, you actually have an idea. I mean, it's amazing that when you are indoor, I mean, I realized from coaching outdoor and indoor, it's a bit different when you have all the data. So nowadays, I realize a lot of people actually love data. They like to see the results. They want to see what is happening. So, you know, I think that with this device, it actually does help you get an idea of where your wrist position is at impact, and just based on your setup, I would say. What it does is like, when you set up, I mean, there's a lot more stuff into it, but then I'm just going to share a little bit of basic stuff over here. So, okay, just let me position it. So this is how it looks. Oh, sorry. This is how it looks. All right, looks pretty cool. You can use it with a glove or without the glove, but I will choose to kind of use, I mean, I'll put on my glove, you know, because I feel more comfortable like that. But they have another thing that you can actually clip on your glove so that you can just wear this part only. But I think it's pretty cool and I feel comfortable like that, so I choose to wear it like that. The next thing is you need to collaborate it. So if you download the app, it will teach you how to do it. So I've already collaborated, and if you guys see it on the screen, so as you can see over here, I'm going to get to 0, which is my wrist is really flat over here. I mean, we try to perfect it all the time, right? And then this is where we call it cupping, that means it's the extension in the wrist, and then this is flexing, okay? Of course, a lot of golfers, you see most of them, like professional golfers, we try to compress the ball at impact. We try to get a really negative number. But technically, I mean, it will show you on the app. It's pretty cool. But anyway, just let me show you a shot, you know. Just let me hit a shot and then let's see. Okay, so it's gonna base on my setup. Okay. I thought that was a pretty good shot, and you can see it's all green over here. That means it's a good sign. I'm gonna look at this. If you see at address, I was at +7. All right, so my wrist was a bit extended. All right, so that means it was. I mean, because I have a slightly neutral to stronger grip, so it's very individual. So you got to make sure it's based on like your setup. So don't try to compare yourself to all the pros. Let's say if you have a really strong grip and you go up there and try to bowl it so much, you know, sometimes it can kind of mess you up a little bit. But we just go based on, let's say my address is +7, and then over here is giving me a target range. It's -13 to +12. Okay, I had a +4, which I quite like it at the top of the backswing because I do prefer to have a flatter wrist angle at the top, so it's easier to get to a pretty square at impact. It's, you know, you get your wrist a bit more flatter at impact instead of cupping. You know, cupping, that means we're scooping, or sometimes we hit it behind or topping as well. So I prefer that. And then if you look at impact, it was -14. Oh, okay, that was actually better than when I was practicing just now. So yeah, so that was a bit more compression. It gave me a pretty good distance, 134 meters on the carry. On the total distance, 130 meters on the carry. Yeah, if you look at it, the path is pretty decent. Smash factor is good. I really think that this device has really helped me, especially in my coaching as well, and also get my students to actually understand and believe what we're trying to work on. So, I mean, it works for putting, chipping, and stuff as well. So, especially if you're wearing this device, it kind of helps you to get an idea. Besides having your coach looking at you, this will help you to, you know, it gives you the numbers, and so you can actually know what you're doing with the wrist throughout the swing. I felt like I scooped that a little bit. All right, it's still in range. Okay, actually I kind of extended the wrist a little bit more over there, and then it was also -3 impact, so I still like those numbers. I would say, I mean, we're all trying to be consistent, but if it's in the green zone, I think that's a good sign already. So I'm going to hit a few more. I thought I hit that pretty solid as well. Uh-oh. Maybe did I set up a bit? Okay, let's have a look over here. So my target range was supposed to be -24 to -9. Okay, but I would still say that -6 is still a decent number over here. But anyway, so this is basically what the Hackmotion does, and I think it has helped me with my coaching and also my own practice as well. So if you guys have, I mean, if you guys do have any interest in looking into this device, I really suggest you look at it, because it does have a lot of things in the app. There's like 3 versions, and there is the Pro. Let me look back. Sorry, real quick, just want to they do have the core, they do have a plus, and then of course you can upgrade it to the Pro level. So I think it's really cool because it does do a whole swing analysis. It does help you at practice, and of course it has a lot of drills. I'm very happy to see that motorcycle drill they have on that app, which I really recommend that with people that are facing a slide shot. So yeah, that really helps. So yeah, if you guys are interested, I will have a link at the bottom of our live show today, and also there's a coupon code. I think you get 5% off this device. So if you guys are interested, you can definitely look into it. All right. So I'm just going to put it on the side over here. Okay. How do you like to play fades and draws? Is it all set up for you? Do you teach fades and draw different to how you play them yourself? I would say it's pretty... sorry. It's no signal. Anyway, if I'm going to talk about the fade and draw, all right. I would say I play the same as the way I teach it. If we want to play, I'm going to just basically talk about how to hit a draw or how to hit a fade, but how much is really based on, of course, how you practice on the range. You know, you're going to aim at a certain target, and of course, watch how the ball reacts. Okay? So, how to hit a draw? First of all, hitting a draw, we all know that the path has to be a little bit more inside out. Okay? What I do for any amateur golfers or beginner golfers, really simple. Let's try out this way first. So, I mean, I'm on a simulator, so it's aiming straight at the target. But let's say if my club face is aiming straight down the line, and then I want to hit a draw, I will aim my path, my body, my feet, to where I want the ball to start. So the club face is facing square, and then I'm going to grip it while I aim the club face. After I aim the club face, then I grip it, and then I aim my path on where I want the ball to start. Okay? But I'm going to make sure I'm going to swing the club on that path and just let the club head release. It should give you a draw shot. Okay? So let's try it. So yeah. So that's a draw. And then how you want to hit a fade is just the opposite. Again, I'm going to keep the club face on where the ball at the target, and then I'm going to aim my feet just where I want the ball to start. Okay, so the ball is going to start on where my setup is, where my feet is aiming. It's going to start left, and then it's going to fade back to target. Okay, so this is going to be a fade. So with a fade shot, we do not really want to release the club head. We're going to try to hold the club face square throughout the shot on that path to create a little fade, all right? Hey. Sorry, it didn't record over there. So I got to make sure, all right. So maybe I just moved the ball a little just now. All right, again, I'm going to aim the club face at the target, and then I'm going to aim left of target, okay? I'm just going to make sure I hold that club face throughout the shot. Just make sure you don't release it. Okay, that will create a fade over there. All right? So yeah, I hope that will answer. This is just a really simple tip on how to hit it. But when you want to hit a draw or hit a fade, I suggest you to kind of swing it a bit smoother. Don't rush it, because sometimes when you hit it hard, it could, you know, come a bit across, or you come a bit too shallow and you won't hit it solid. So whenever you're trying to create a ball flight, like a draw shot or a fade shot, I suggest you actually swing it a bit smoother. All right. Good morning. Keeping the lead arm straight. Hi, Nicholas. All right, keeping the lead arm straight seems to be important. I have a hard time keeping it straight during the backswing. Okay, so a really simple tip. In order to keep the left arm straight, we have to move our chest. That definitely relates to the rotation in the golf swing, okay? So I can guess, I mean, there's many reasons why, you know, we bend our left arm, okay? I won't say that it has to be like locked like this, but then it has to be somewhat a bit straighter. We cannot have it bent like that, or we don't want it to look like this, you know? We want it to look somewhere like that, okay? So on the way back, it's very important that we turn our chest to the right side to keep this left arm straight, like you said, straight, right? Sometimes, number one, if we try to keep our head too still, like don't move your head, keep your eye on the ball, and this might happen. Okay? So you can see my left arm bending because I can't rotate. So technically, my head should be able to turn in order to turn my chest in order to straighten the left arm. Or some of us might rotate our forearm too much on the way back and open that club face, and it gets to the top easily, and then I don't turn my chest, I can bend my left arm as well. So there are many reasons, but I really think that, first of all, maybe you want to look into the grip as well. If your grip sometimes, when it's a bit too weak, you might not be able to cock the wrist. So if I can't cock the wrist when my left hand grip is too weak, then it's very hard to get to the top. Then I ended up having to bend my left arm to get the club to somewhat in a decent backswing position. So I mean, we know that the club has to get to somewhat this position. If I can't cock my wrist, I have to bend my left arm. So check the grip first, and then check the rotation. Then you maybe it's the forearm rotation as well. So I mean, there are a lot of reasons why, but first I would say to fix it, just make sure the grip is in a pretty good position, okay? Just make sure you can move your wrist freely. Okay, if you can cock your wrist, then it's easier to keep the left arm straight, and then work on the rotation. How to keep the left arm straight? If your chest is turning well, just feel like you're pushing your arms away from your chest as much as you can. So you can see that I'm pushing my hands towards the camera as much as I can to keep the left arm straight. So I think that's the tip that I can give right now. I mean, because I haven't really looked at the swing, so this is just based on what I'm guessing. So you can maybe look into this, and hopefully that will help. Hi Maggie. Hi Navin. I like especially your exercises. Do you place the ball in the middle of the legs? Do you place the balls in the middle of your legs, or are they a bit towards the left or the right leg? They are different for the... Okay, so you're talking about ball position. Okay. Okay, so if I'm guessing it's ball position, so if I'm gonna, maybe from this angle is a bit better. All right, so for ball position, for me, I mean, it could be different for everybody. We always talk about low point, like where impact is. It's super important. You know where your low point is, Of course, some of us say that, all right, your 7-iron must be 2 balls left of center or 1 ball left of center, but you hit it super solid and it's going exactly where you want to go it when you're putting the ball right in the middle of your stance. Why not just put it right in the middle of the stance, right? Just don't make your life too difficult. Okay, just let me get an alignment stick over here. All right, so, okay, I'm going to put it down this way. Okay, so I'm holding a 7-iron in my hand. Okay, for me, my 7-iron ball position, I'm going to put my feet together, open my stance. Okay, this is somewhat in the middle, right? This is somewhat in the middle. And the ball position is always measured from the heels, okay? Some of us might point our left toe out a little bit, or some of us might point the right toe out a little bit, some of us point our both toes out. So it really depends, but make sure it's measured from your heels, because if I'm measuring from the toes, what happens if I push it out too much? You might think that if I point my left toe out, you might think that the ball position is too much on the right side. So always just check, just make sure it's from the heels, okay? So for 7-iron, I put it just about 1 ball left of center. So let's say this position, I just move maybe just about a ball. The ball position, move it just about 1 ball left of center. That means I step about a ball to the right side. So that's my ball position. So it really depends. You have to practice and actually find the most consistent impact, and then that will be a really good ball position. But of course, we don't recommend you to put your 7-iron where you chip, right? So for me, I think the pitching wedge and the 9-iron could be somewhere in the middle. 8-iron, 7-iron, 1 ball left of center. 6 and 5-iron, maybe 2 ball left of center. Hybrid, I choose to hit where my 5-iron is, which is 2 ball center, and then I move up. So for my driver, I will put it just 1 ball inside my left heel. So this would be my driver position. My 3-wood is just about 2 balls inside. But sometimes, you know, when we're on the golf course, you know, when you set up with the ball, you're not always on an even lie. So sometimes you have to adjust to that as well. So sometimes you're on a downhill, you want to move the ball a bit more towards the right side. I mean, just have to play with it. But of course, on the driving range, we try to go with standard ball position, right? But I mean, that's what I would say. Just try it out and just find what is best for you. Okay, your balance is on fingers of the leg or the heel of the leg. Okay, so you're actually talking about where my weight is in my feet. So I would say this. At setup, I would say my weight is where my laces are. Okay, where my laces are, right in the middle of my feet over here. I like to hit with a bit of a weight. I like to set up with about 55% of my weight slightly on the left side. It's just how I like it. Some people put 60%, some people put 50-50. I suggest to have it 55%. It just gets me a bit, I don't know, somewhat it just gives me a bit of momentum on the takeaway. So I really like it. So when I get to the top of the backswing, technically, if you're rotating well, some of us kind of think that, oh, I need to shift my weight here or shift my weight here. So we end up swaying. But technically, if I'm rotating really well with my hands moving, my club going, my weight will be going towards the right side. I would say maybe about 75% to 80% somewhere on the right side, but my weight is going to be more towards the right heel, okay? If you start to feel like your weight is going forward, just be a bit careful. You might end up coming from the outside in and lose your balance. So I like it that, you know, I'm going a bit back this way, and then the weight is going to feel like it's more towards my heel. And then from there, it's going to come back, my knees are going to go, the weight is starting to move towards my left side, and then I'm going to push off. I'm going to push off over here. The weight is going to feel more towards the toes when I push off this way, and then again, back to the left heel on the follow through. So yeah, I hope that will answer your question. Hi, Slide Town. For most golfers, I would rather see a cupped or flat wrist. Okay, I would rather see a flat wrist, to be honest. I mean, but of course, a cupped wrist do happen when the golfers have a really, really strong grip. It really depends, you know. I mean, it depends on what it does to the body. Some people need a stronger grip in order to hit it solid. There are a lot of other reasons. I have students that had quite a bad accident, we have to have a really strong grip in order to make solid contact. So it really depends. I think I would prefer, if it's neutral grip, I prefer to see a flat wrist at the top. Hi Nick, this 4-5 iron hybrid wood has the same swing. I would say it's the same swing, but the tip I can give over here is because the ball position is different. So we need to try to swing it the same way, but of course it's easier to hit the 9 iron compared to the 5 iron, right? The 5 iron, I find it the most difficult club to hit in the bag. So the 5 iron, when it comes to the longer club, my tip is always trying to swing smoother when it comes to the longer clubs. I always make sure my body keeps going, my weight is transferring well. I need to initiate my swing with the hips a bit more and just let the club follow, because sometimes when we get a bit tense and we try to make contact, we tend to get a bit steep, and then hitting behind or sometimes even topping the ball. So I would say it's the same swing. You can't really change it that much, but the setup kind of gives you a bit of different feel. I know we all struggle with the longer club, so my tip will be find a rhythm that works for you, swing it a bit smoother, and of course make sure the ball position is correct, and the setup does make a huge difference. The setup is something that we can control. I always say that the stuff that we can control, we need to pay attention to before we hit the shot. So that's my tip for this question. Okay, slide down again. Your question. Oh yeah, to change the grip. To play a hit, a draw, hit a fade. Yeah, I was taught like that before as well. But if you do feel comfortable doing that, I don't really. I like to play with the club face and of course the path, because sometimes the strong grip or the weak grip can control the wrist movement. So if I have a really weak grip, sometimes it's very hard for me to move the wrist, and I don't really do that. So. But it could work, but if you've been doing it for years and it does help, maybe you can continue to do it, Of course, it has to sound like technical, like things like, okay, we want to hit the ball in a certain way to hit a fade or hit a draw. But at the end of the day, we're out there to enjoy the game, okay? Do what works. Do what works for you. We are all different. We are all built different. The flexibility is different. Mental game is different when we get out there. No matter how good we hit on the range, sometimes we go out there, we just have a swing thought that my coach never said to me before, and it works, so I will still use that. So yeah, do what works for you. Okay, 28 mm. Okay, could you share the easiest way to fix an out to in path when do I release my leg? Okay, so first of all, out to in, a lot of us do struggle with that. Out to in, there's a lot of reasons. It could be because of a cup wrist. If you have a cup wrist, it's very easy to get the club coming from the outside. Maybe you want to try to work a little bit on the grip and see if you can try. What I will do is, I always tell my students, okay, there are a few ways to get it into out. If you want something really quick and if you have a cup wrist, you need to try to get to this position, because if you can see this, when I come down, okay, maybe this angle. So from this angle, if I have a cup wrist, it's going to get steep, okay? So if you see my wrist is flat, when I come down, it gets a bit more flatter and it comes more from the inside out. It shallows out the club a little bit. So when you are at this position, just be a bit careful. So I think with the wrist, it could help. And then, of course, we want to work a little bit on rotation. You need to check your rotation if you're creating enough space. But of course, I think the fastest way could be just pulling your right foot back. Okay, if everything is okay, your left wrist is flat, everything is good at the top of the backswing, you're just coming over the top, not too over the top, okay, then you can maybe pull the right foot back just a tad and try to swing on the in to out path. All right, and then a last tip I would like to share with you is something that I always use in my videos or all my students. I like to look at the ball as if I'm looking at a clock. Okay, if I want to swing in to out, if the ball, let's say from this angle, let's say the ball is 12 o'clock over here, 6 o'clock, 3 o'clock, and 9 o'clock. I like to swing it from 4 to 10 o'clock, so this will help you coming from in to out. If you're hitting an out to in shot, you're coming from 2 to 8 o'clock. So you're swinging from this way to this way, and to fix it quickly, maybe you just want to swing it more from 4 to 10. If you look at the ball, just say no matter what you do, make sure the club face is coming in from 4 to 10. I think that will help you to fix that. Maybe, hopefully, quick enough, you know, throughout your round. All right. Sorry, QWSA. All right. Thank you for your videos. I appreciate it. Thank you as well for watching. When do I use a strong grip versus a neutral grip? I mean, I don't really change my grip too much unless I'm hitting a bunker shot. I try to, you know, weaken the grip a little bit sometimes, but I don't really change my grip too much. As I said just now, if a strong grip, sometimes people tend to try to release the club head a little bit more. They might have a stronger grip. So maybe a strong grip, let's say if you're hitting, I mean, like you're somewhat hitting it straight and it keeps fading, like you just couldn't release the club head, maybe a stronger grip will help you to release the club head a little bit better. I would say maybe, I would say that might help. So you have to play with the grip a little bit. So sometimes, I mean, it really depends. I mean, on the golf course, you know, if I've been fading all day and I just couldn't release the club head, then I will try to, you know, strengthen the grip a little bit. All right, hi Paul. What shaft do you use for your wedges? Are they the same weight, flex, and brand as your iron shaft? Most say shaft of sandwich and lob should have a heavier. Okay, for me, mine is a bit heavier. Okay, so I actually have a steel fiber graphite shaft in my irons, but I have a steel shaft in my irons. Yeah. Hi Rusty. Okay, good question. Please explain cocking the wrist and uncocking the wrist on the downswing. Okay. So, like I mentioned, if you have a good grip, you should be able to cock the wrist freely. Okay. So at the top of the backswing, what the left hand does, it cocks, and the right hand hinges. So technically, we need to get to a pretty good position like this. So I would say, I kind of start off my backswing feeling like I'm going to hinge the club a little bit more. That should give me to a pretty good cocking position, because I don't really want to cock the wrist too much, because if I think about cocking the wrist too much, sometimes I will cup the wrist at the end of the day. So I would prefer to kind of hinge the wrist, think about hinging the wrist. If my left hand grip is pretty good, I would say the wrist will be cocking already, unless you see a lot of golfers having the club head still lower than the handle at waist height, then they need to work on cocking a little bit. So if you are struggling with that, you can definitely try to feel this a little bit before you hit the ball, to feel like you're cocking the wrist, and then just go up, hinging the right wrist and trying to cock the left wrist as well. And then if you're talking about uncocking on a downswing, yes, that's a really good question, because I see some golfers coming to me and having them, they try to lag the club so much, where sometimes they hit it behind, and they think that when they hit it behind, they try to lag it even more, and then it just struggle. I just couldn't make solid contact at all, because we have to understand that if I'm going to keep lagging the club, you can see that my body is going lower and lower and lower and lower. So of course I'm going to hit it behind. The club technically supposed to be uncocking when the handle is somewhere around waist height, and then it's just going to release at the ball. It's just going to extend over here, and then post impact both arms is away from the chest. So it's really important that when we get to this position over here, and then I'm going to just release. So technically, that's why I keep talking about this wrist. I'm sure you guys are getting boring about me talking about this so much, because I really do think that this is super important, because the left wrist does control that impact position over here. So it's so important that, you know, we can do this at impact. So this is where we uncock, if that answers your question. Okay. All right. Also, how can I fix a slice with my driver? I have 2 videos on that, on how to fix a slice with the driver. I mean, if I can talk about it all day, but how to fix a slice of the driver, if you're hitting a slice, that means the ball is starting left and then going towards the right side. So if that is happening, the first thing you need to do is fix the club face first, okay? If the ball is starting left, I want you to try to get the ball starting towards the left side and then curving even more left. So you really have to work on that wrist action. So check it, maybe like, I mean, we have talked about the grip almost, the past 20 minutes, right? So if you do have a very weak grip, sometimes it's a bit difficult to release, and if you're swinging on the outside in, that doesn't help at all. So try to strengthen the grip a little bit and see if you can kind of release that club hit better and get the ball going towards the left side. If it's going towards the left side, well done, work on the path. That means you want to swing a bit more towards 4 to 10, okay, as I mentioned earlier. So if you can swing more towards 4 to 10, so with that release, it's going to create, that is actually helping you to create a big draw. But then if you're slicing, you're going to see the ball going a bit straighter. And I hope that you will like the shot. Okay, so I'm going to take my driver. So, okay. So I'm just going to, okay, let me remove this real quick. And have a sip of water. All right, okay. Since I haven't pulled on my driver tonight, so let's try to hit a drive over here. So if you're hitting a slice shot, I assume that the ball is going to start left and then go towards, okay. So if I'm going to hit a slice shot, I will assume that the ball is going towards the left and then slicing to the right. First thing, if you're hitting from the outside in, like I mentioned, maybe you can try to strengthen the grip a little bit. I mean, this would be a bit too strong for me, but this is a tip. Strengthen the grip so you can actually release the club head a bit more, okay? So you can see that this is what I call the motorcycle drill, all right? And they have it in the Hackmotion app, which I think is super cool. So just make sure you can do this, okay? Sometimes when the grip is too weak, you just can't release, right? You can't turn the club face. So strengthen the grip a little bit, and then it's okay to still swing from the outside, all right? But you gotta make sure the ball is gonna start going towards the left side, okay? So I'm gonna show you this shot and let's see. Okay, you can see, okay, I got that a bit steep. So it's coming from the outside, and then it's, it's curving towards the left side. Somehow the number is saying it's a bit into our path. Maybe it's the angle that I set up just now. So if you get the ball swinging towards the left side already, so I'm gonna try to swing from 4 to 10 right now, okay, while releasing that club head. So let's see. Okay, that went pretty straight. I mean, I didn't hit it as solid, I didn't swing it at full blast, but that gave me a pretty good distance. So yeah, so again, in order to fix a slice, club face, and then path. Don't try to fix the path first, all right? Don't go out there and try to think about 4 to 10. The ball is gonna go off the planet, okay? It's gonna go very, very right, so just be a bit careful. Just work on the club face and then the path, all right? Hi, Nicholas. I try to use wrist, cock and hinging to make a good compression. Does that make sense? Yes. I understand. I mean, we all try. Sorry, I need to change back to my iron. I mean, if I understand what you're trying to say, you're trying to hinge the wrist, and then I think you should be uncocking at impact to make good compression over here. I mean, a lot of us try to do this and you end up pushing our hands too far forward and not being able to release that club head. I mean, I used to think like that I have to keep the handle in front, try to lag the club, to compress the ball, make sure I catch the ball and then catch the divot. But at the end of the day, okay, from here, this position, when we get down, okay, we're going to release it. I'm still going to hit it solid. I'm still going to catch the ball and then impact. So technically an impact is going to look something like that. It's not going to look like that. But you should be unhinging and uncocking already, I would say, at impact. Hi Paul, which is my current favorite ball? Has it changed? I'm using the Pro V1X. It's still my favorite. I use it throughout my tour life. But now I still play with the Pro V1, Titleist Pro V1X. Hi Fidaus. Welcome, welcome. Eunice. Hi, why do I always end at 60 in distance regardless the club use? So I assume that you always ended up 60 yards or 60 meters from the green. Doesn't matter what club you use for your second shot. Is that what you mean? I mean, maybe you want to change your course management a little bit. Are you trying to lay out most of the time, or are you trying to go for the green, or you just, I mean, distance-wise, I mean, you can't reach. But I would say 60 meters is okay. I mean, if you can hit your second shot 60 meters from the green, you should be playing bogey golf already. So work on your 100 meters and in, right? So I think that will help you to score better. Or check why are you always so far short. I mean, if you're trying to go for the green, and why you're still so far short. I mean, it could be a swing that you need to add a bit more distance, work on flexibility, work on strength, work on power. I mean, there are a lot of things. But I would say if you have 60 meters in, and I mean, I'm just guessing, I don't know what handicap you're playing, but if I'm playing bogey golf, I mean, I'll just work everything 100 meters and in. All right, Nick. When hitting out of the bunker next to a green, what do I do if I want to hit a 5-yard, 20-yard, 40-yard shot towards the flag? Okay, so when it comes to bunker shots, okay, I mean, if technically, I mean, like I said, okay, if you have a good bunker shot, you have no problem getting the ball out. I have this tip for you. I always tell a lot of people, if you're trying to hit a short bunker shot where the ball is when the pin is very close to you, you got to keep the handle close to you. Okay, if you can keep the handle close to you, that will create a softer shot. It creates more loft. The ball go a bit closer. If I want to hit it a bit further, I will extend my arms out a little bit. I will hit the ball a bit further. And if it's 40 yards, I will say that's a long bunker shot already. If it's 40 yards, maybe you want to suggest, I suggest you to use a slightly delofted shot, you know. Maybe you don't even have to open the club face, or if you're using a 58 degree, you might want to move to a 54 degree. Yeah, so I mean, that's the tip I have. Hi, Jeff. Oh, thank you so much. Thanks for the support. I appreciate it. I hope I have helped you enjoy golf better. My left arm always bent, and wonder tips to keep it straight and what problems typically occur. Okay. That was the first question I had this evening as well, but I'm sure you have just joined us. I can just repeat it real quick. There's a lot of reasons. Just make sure you check your grip. Is it too weak? If it's too weak, you could have cocked the wrist. It's very hard to keep the left arm straight, so you ended up bending the left arm, or you're not rotating. I mean, you're 60. You just mentioned you're 64. I mean, 64 is still a very good age for golf. I have a lot of students. My oldest student is 76, you know, so they're still playing. There's a lot of ways to rotate. So I think that if you can't straighten your arm, if you're not flexible enough, you need to work a bit on rotation. If you can't, because it's very important to rotate in order to keep the left arm straight. If you can't really rotate when you take your backswing, it's okay to lift the left heel off the ground a little bit, yeah? Over here, you can lift the left heel off the ground a little bit and then power through. So that will keep the left arm straight. If you're flexible enough but just not rotating, maybe you can think of turning the chest towards the right side. So we're gonna pull the right shoulder back, right hip back on the way back, and try to push your hands away from your chest as much as you can. Okay, so on the backswing, I'm gonna feel like my arms are really pushing out, like my hands are pushing away from my chest, so that will help you straighten your left arm a bit more. All right, but make sure when you feel like you're straightening, pushing your hands away from your chest, you can also think about pushing the right palm towards the right side, because that will help you to create a bit of a flatter wrist, because sometimes when we push, right, we ended up cupping the wrist. Just be a bit careful, yeah, we don't want to push it like that. I prefer you to try to push the right palm this way, so it kind of create that really good hinging angle and a flat left wrist. All right. Hi Hanafi, what's the best feeling to consistently have the outside in swing path? What's the best feeling to consistently have the outside in? So you mean you're swinging from the outside in? But depends. If you're swinging from the outside in, it's fine. There are a lot of people swinging a bit steeper, it's coming a bit outside in, 2-3 degrees is okay. And mostly with people that are hitting from the outside in, they might hit a slight pull shot if the club face is square. And it gives you actually a little bit more distance as well. So it might hit about 5 to 8 yards more than usual. What's the best feeling to consistently out? I mean, best feeling, I would say that if I hit it solid and, I mean, this question, what's the best feeling? I mean, to me, if I hit it solid, I just try to remember how it feels, because at the end of the day, it's how you feel through impact. So if I can do whatever up here, and then if I can always bring it back really solid and it gives me that consistent impact, I will keep that swing thought. Of course, with technology these days and all the knowledge and how much we have learned, of course we try to perfect all the angles in the golf swing in order to be more consistent. But if you have an outside in swing path, it's giving you a pretty good distance. And depends on the ball flight. I mean, I can't really judge from here. If your club face is not open, I would say it's okay to have a little bit of outside in. Hi, Sophie. One of the video. While downswing, the left grip. Okay, talking about my motorcycle drill. Okay, all right. So I'm gonna put on my Hackmotion again. Okay, this will be a good one. So over here. Sorry, I didn't put this part. Okay. So this motorcycle drill, it really helps people when they're slicing, okay? Because I mean, if you're not and you're hitting a big draw, I don't really recommend it, but a lot of people come to me with a slice shot, because why we have a slice shot is because I think that we're always so excited hitting the ball coming from the outside in, that creates a slice shot. But okay, so if I'm going to talk about the motorcycle drill, which is in the app again, if I'm going to mention, the motorcycle drill means this, okay? We all accelerate. Okay. I have to calibrate it again. Oh, sorry. Just 1 second, guys. I'm going to turn on the sensor. Okay, it's on. Just give me a minute over here. Okay, so I need to calibrate it real quick. Just make sure the wrist is flat, okay? In position. And then move it to about 30 or 45 degrees. It's in position. So, okay, so this is square. All right, so I'm going to start practicing right now. So as you can see, if motorcycle drill means we're accelerating like this, right? The motorcycle, we accelerate like that. But what I mean is actually want to do the opposite. All right, so you can see that I'm flexing the wrist, my left wrist, a lot over here. Okay, it's going to feel like that. So in the swing, from this position, of course, we are hoping that you have a flat left wrist, and then from here, it's going to feel like this. Okay, so it's going to feel like the club face is shutting. So maybe I can show it to you in the camera. Can you show it in the camera? Oh, okay. So technically, the motorcycle drill means this. So it's going to roll this way, okay? I'm going to, from this angle, it's going to look this way. And I'm going to hold the club from this position. Technically, if you're hitting a slice, your wrist will be very extended over here. But I want to do the opposite of accelerating the motorcycle. So we want to do this. You can see that my glove, the logo of my glove, is actually pointing towards you. So we want to feel a bit more like that. You can see a negative number over there. And then you're going to release. The ball is going to curve towards the left side. Yeah, so I think that is what we meant about motorcycle drill. Okay? All right, it's okay. I mean, that's what we're trying to do, and the Hackmotion actually does give you the numbers and readings so you can actually know if you're doing it. So sometimes we might feel like we're doing it, but we're actually not, okay? So this device will definitely help. Hi, Elsie. I think I have confidence issues. Been playing for a long time, and then your swing plane is a bit too low and not upright like most people. It really depends. I assume that when you talk about low, it means like this. We call it a flat shoulder turn. So what causes a flat shoulder turn is sometimes if I rotate my forearm a bit too much, it might get really flat. Or I'm not rotating, I'm not turning my chest at all, and I just take my backswing up, it could get really low as well. So I would say you might want to start off working on the rotation first. What you can do is, I don't have a wall over here, but I would say stick out the club. Okay, if I'm going to hold my club across my chest, I would like my grip to be sticking out outside my left shoulder, okay? So I would say this is how you want to do this drill, and you want to stand against the wall. Just put like a fist in front of your head. Or if you're wearing a cap, then just have the front of the cap just touching the wall. And then from there, I want you to try to rotate with the left shoulder going down, so the club, the butt of my grip, will be sliding down the wall. And if you have a flat shoulder turn, where your hands are too low, you will hit the wall. You won't be able to rotate, okay? So you want to make sure you do this to create a bit more upright. So, I mean, I would say that could be one of the reasons. So hopefully that tip will help, all right? Hi, Jim. At the dress position, what if your hands are too forward, which makes you bend more further than your shoulder? Okay. That's a really good question. You mean setting up like that, right? Where the hands is a bit too far forward. I don't really recommend that. I really prefer for the butt of the club to be just slightly left of the belly button. I prefer this setup instead of this setup, because this setup, if you have your hands too far forward, you might end up going really inside on the way back, okay? Just be a bit careful going a bit too far inside this way, and then it might create a flat shoulder turn like I just mentioned. So just be a bit careful, okay? So if you have your hands too far forward like that. I mean, when it's going too far inside, flat shoulder turn can create an outside in swing path as well. So I don't really recommend too much forward bend, to be honest. Hi, Vincent. On the downswing, how does one let the club drop from the top and then apply force to hit the ball? All right. So, okay, a lot of us kind of think like that. So from the top of the backswing, we kind of try to drop our hands this way, right? Just drop it on the side. Just be a bit careful, because when you start dropping, you might get stuck and end up hitting behind or scooping the ball, because a lot of us want to try to come from the inside out. So just be a bit careful, yeah? Just make sure you rotate and you have enough space for the club to, I mean, if you have enough space, you just have to get the hip going, and then the club will naturally move on that correct swing path, if of course your wrist angle has to be in the correct position as well. But then if you talk about dropping the club and then apply the force to hit the ball, I would say you need to work on impact first, where you work on release and make sure the ball is hitting solid, and then from the top of the backswing, I suggest you work on the lower body movement, where your left knee has to, the sequence of the downswing where the knees have to go first, and then the weight have to be towards the left side already at this position, and then fire through. So I think, I hope this really answers your question, because you're talking about club drop from the top. I mean, this is what I'm guessing. But if you can work on impact first to get that solid impact, and then only work on, from the top of the backswing, work on that weight transfer and impact. Hi, Navy Golf. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I hope the videos help. I know I have been out of actions from the videos, because again, I like to mention that I have been busy building our academy, and of course a studio that I can film and do live shows. But from now on, we're going to start to film more videos, and hopefully the videos will come up real soon, okay? Thank you for your support. I really appreciate it. All right, we have You need to connect it again. Just let me get a sip of water real quick. Okay. Okay. Oh. Okay. So I just want to, just now when I was using the Hackmotion, I wasn't really able to kind of show that motorcycle drill with the numbers. So right now, I would like to show you, just now it was collaborate already. Let me get it to square, so this is straight. And then motorcycle drill means we're gonna flex the wrist. So you're gonna see negative number, okay? So it's really important for people that are hitting a slice shot where, you know, when you're hitting a slice, you're most probably very extended. So the motorcycle drill means we're actually doing, okay, when we accelerate a motorcycle, we are doing this, right? On the right side, okay? But then we are doing the opposite, okay, for the left hand to create this angle. So from here, you're gonna see that my glove, my logo of my glove is gonna point towards you. So this is the angle we want to impact. We're gonna feel a lot of this, but of course, we're not gonna do this at impact. But for people that are struggling with a slice, I really suggest that you want to look into this motorcycle drill, which is really help, because from this position, it gives you a feel of how to shut that club head. So yeah, all right. So, all right, glad that we got some numbers over there. Air bounce. Hi Michelle, much love from Cali. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us. Wait, we started at 9:30, so it must be really early in California right now. Is it like, so what time is it now? It's like 10 something in Malaysia. So it's around 7 o'clock in the morning. Thank you so much for joining us. I hope you didn't miss a lot. Nicholas, why is flattening the swing important? What does it help with? Wait, flattening the swing, you mean shallowing on a downswing, or? So we don't really want to flatten it on the backswing. So I assume that you're talking about, let's say I'm from this position, I'm trying to flatten it, means shallowing a little bit. Because I mean, I would say that we are all constantly, I would say most golfers are trying to shallow the path all the time, right? And it's due to, most of us are a bit steep. I mean, I'm a bit steep as well, to be honest, but I'm also working on it, because we always tend to try to hit the ball from this position where our hands will come first instead of initiating the downswing with the hip. That's why we are always constantly working on shallowing. So I mean, that's what I think. Hi Shannon, thank you so much, thank you. You're from California as well. Good morning, so early. Yiman U. I like your training videos. I always watch and learn from it. Thank you so much. Thank you. Wow, you're Myanmar. I have a student from Myanmar as well. All right, thank you. Thank you so much. Do you have an easy drill? Sorry, I'm sure this is a friend from Thailand. Do you have an easy drill to understand rotation? Okay. I mean, we always talk about rotation. I mean, I think it's super important besides the wrist angle, because the rotation actually does help the consistency of impact and the consistency of the path, okay? So like, we are all steep. Why we are always trying to shallow? So why not we work on rotation? Because if you rotate well, it's very easy to get the club more on path or even shallowing it. So easy drill to understand rotation. Okay. So in order to rotate, really easy drill, of course, I have this bow and arrow drill in my video. I don't know if you have seen that rotation video. I always say left hand arrow, if you're a right-handed golfer, left hand bow, right hand arrow. So if I'm gonna pull that arrow back and try to keep everything in line, you can see that my chest is open up, my hip is open up as well. So if I get to this position, a hitting position, and I'm gonna do this, you're gonna feel like your chest is almost 90 degrees or slightly more open. I mean, facing the right side, and then the hip is open as well. So we need to do this. Okay, so this will get you a feel of how you should be rotating. Okay, so but make sure when you pull, okay, you don't lean left, or sometimes we're not doing this. We try to keep it in a straight line, but then when I pull back, you will still feel like the weight is more towards the right side. So that will be a drill that you can work on. Hope that helps. Hi, Dominic. Advice for sliding on a downswing. It kills my back in half to save the shots with my hands. Yes, you're right. Okay, you know what's going on in the swing. So sliding means you're doing a bit too much of this, and then you have to catch up with the hands. Yeah? If not, the ball is going to go really right. Okay. I have a drill over here. So sometimes when we are sliding too much, we have a problem straightening our left leg. So it's really important that we have to straighten our left leg, push our left hip back in a downswing. While you're sliding, because this hip is not turning back, first of all, maybe work a bit of flexibility, but I have a drill that I think it really helps a lot of people, which is, I'm just going to show you right away. If you're sliding too much, that means there's not enough of extension here, there's not enough power from the left leg. So, okay, you get to set up, all right? I would like for you to set up with a smaller stance and then have your right foot just a bit behind, okay? So you're going to feel like you're going to tiptoe with your right foot over here. I mean, don't have to hit the ball with it, yeah? This is just a really simple drill. Let me just pull my club up a little bit. So, backswing, I'm gonna have you feel like you're gonna squat a little bit. You see my left knee going forward, squat, and then on a downswing, extend. You're gonna feel like you're jumping like that, okay? So, squat a little bit, and then extend on a downswing. This will also help with a lot of people that really struggle with, turning the left hip, or some people with the knees going on a downswing. Sometimes we see golfers going like this. They try to shallow the path, right? So when they shallow the path, they kind of bend the knees forward like that to shallow the path. So this is a very dangerous move because you can't really release in time, and you see a lot of people shanking the shots and hitting inside. So I think this is a drill that works as well. So left foot back, okay, tiptoe. All right, again, left knee bend, extend. So you're gonna feel like you're jumping off, like kind of get this motion going. Then when you're actually hitting the ball, you're gonna feel like this position, this motion, like this extending and then turning that left hip back as well. I think that will help you with sliding. Hi Michael, hello from London. Hello. Paul, okay, a question from you. Do you ever incorporate shooting left-handed in your practices to balance the back against rotating just one way? I don't really hit balls on the range left-handed because I don't know where the ball is going to go, so I better not do that. But I mean, I can somewhat make contact, but I don't really do that to practice. I usually do that at the gym. So whatever workout I do for golf, throwing the ball towards the wall or anything with the elastic band, I'll make sure I do it on both sides. So I think work on that working on this exercises at the gym is better than working on a driving range, because the swing is already enough for us to think about. So if you try to play on the other side as well, I think it's a bit difficult. So maybe just spend time at the gym working on it. Hey Jim, are your coaching fees applicable for the LHDN tax exemption? Yes, there's something really new in Malaysia, and I really want to thank our YB Hanayo for doing this, and this really encouraged a lot of young kids to starting sports, and hopefully this will be able to make golf bigger in Malaysia as well. Hopefully a lot more kids will start to play golf. But yes, I would say yes, because it really depends. I think it's more for like sports equipment. We have to really go in detail about that. Maybe you want to ask your accountant. I think it goes to like sports equipment, but it did mention about coaching fees. I mean, we give out our receipts, so if you can definitely, if you can claim tax for it, definitely do that. Yeah, I think you can actually, but for coaching fees, to be honest, a bit on the high side. But I heard, but we'll see. I think you can ask your accountants, but I think coaching fee was mentioned. Okay. All right. Oh, sorry. I think we missed some of the questions over there. It's just kind of slide. Hi, Wina. Thank you for your videos. Thank you. You're from Indonesia. Thank you. Terima kasih. Okay. Chong Che Kyong Yizol. Mom is. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Is your mom watching as well? I hope she's watching. Thank you so much for your support. Oh, thank you so much, Dominic. I appreciate it. But I think we kind of I think this is at the. I need to scroll this up a little bit. Sorry, guys. I just need to move this. I need to go back up to like the questions before. That means you need to scroll up. I need to go up. Thanks, Mai Leong. He's the guy behind my videos. I need to actually introduce him. All right. Hi, Dee. The initial upswing, the club head should always be in front of us and then rotate up. I feel that the downswing is going to be outside in. So you mean the club head, sorry, I mean, I'm just trying to make it clear. So you mean the club head, if it's in front of you and then rotate up, it will come from the outside, and it really depends. I mean, if you're going out like this, sometimes if people that are coming from the outside in, which their backswing is going too far inside and then coming from the outside, a lot of coaches will get them to work on the club going a bit more outside this way. It's just going to feel like it's really outside, and then when you get to this position, and then it will give you a lot more space to come more from the inside out. But then if you say that you might feel, I mean, it could do that, but it really depends. So if your club head is out here, and if you're a person that you have been doing so much of this, and then if you're not rotating back, yes, it will cut across and come outside in. So if you're naturally already doing this, I suggest you to work a bit on rotation, yeah? So sometimes if you work too much on getting the club head out there, you might end up forget to rotate, and then it might come outside in. All right. Hi, Mark. Thank you so much. I mean, I hope that what I shared will be able to help you guys out there. I mean, that's my intention, and I really appreciate your support, yeah? Thank you so much, Weena. All right, guys, do we have any more questions? Let me see. Let me just scroll down real quick. New blocks fruit, guys. Thank you. Love you guys. Thank you. Thank you. Hey, hey, Matt. How are you? Thanks for watching. Yes, you have to come to Malaysia. You did tell me that you're going to come and visit my studio, so you better show up soon, all right? Yes, and we will definitely make more videos, and hopefully we'll be able to share with the fans, all right? Thank you, Matt. Nafal Sharif. Hi, Michelle. There's a few club release type, right? Usually coach will try to change your swing according to their preference. What do you think? And good luck. Thank you so much. Yes, I would say that it really depends on the coaches. For me, I like to work on what the students, on the students' ability, like when it comes to flexibility and of course their wrist angle, make sure that they're not injured. If they are injured before, we need to try to work around it. Of course, we are going to try to perfect it at the end of the day. We're going to try to get close to where we want it to be. There's a few ways to release the club. Yes, it depends. I think you mean few ways, that means it's a swing thought, right? Different ways of teaching in order to get you to that position. But if you want to release, I would say that it's somewhat to be pretty much at that angle where the club face is supposed to be square and the hands is, the left wrist is kind of not too extended, it's a bit flexed at impact, but the right wrist is in a pretty good angle. So we're going to try to release the club like that, where the butt of the club is pointing at us, not pointing too far forward or not pointing too far backwards. So there are drills to work on it. I'm sure a lot of coaches have a lot of different drills to get you to do what they want you to do. So at the end of the day, we're going to try to release to hit it at a very, we're going to try to hit it consistent with a solid impact. So to be honest, whatever it takes, yeah. I'm sure whatever your coach is saying is trying to get you to a pretty good position at impact. So all the best, all right? All right, guys, we're gonna go to our last couple of questions over here. Hi, Derek. Checking in from Seattle. Hi, thank you so much for joining us on a Sunday morning. D, okay, so the reason why my swing is too flat and low on the backswing, why I'm trying to have the club head outside on the upswing. Okay, so you mean your swing is a bit too flat this way? That's why you're trying to go out so you can get to this position. I would say sometimes why it's too flat is due to rotation and due to the wrist angle. Sometimes we get too flat because we are not hinging our right wrist or not cocking our right wrist. That's why the club cannot go up, all right? It can't go up. So, I mean, it could be this that causes the swing to go flat. So just check that one though, if your backswing is too flat, okay? I mean, losing distance, a lot of stuff that can cause you to lose distance if you're not hitting it solid. And if your swing plane, there's not enough rotation and the swing is a bit too flat, sometimes it's hard to get back to that plane that you want it to be, and the swing will slow down and you will lose distance, all right? How to shoot a bunker shot from 30 yards, okay? I mean, 30 yards, 40 yards bunker shot is the most tricky shot, I would say, for the short game area. For me, just make sure you choose your club smartly. So number one, if you're using a 58 degree around the green, and if the bang is not too high from 30 or 40 yards, maybe you want to use like a 54 degree, I would say a 54 degree or even a 52 degree or 50 degree, it depends. Play with the club a little bit, and I would say for the 30 yards bunker shot, we have to be, sometimes it's a lot mental, right? I think it's so mental when it comes to like bunker shots. So you got to make sure, number one, have confidence, trust the club head. You got to make sure your wrist is very relaxed. I would say that that's very important. Make sure your wrist is really relaxed. If you're relaxed, the club head can do the job. It will be easier for you to use the bounce of the wedge so you can hit it a bit, it'll be easier to control and you can hit it more solid when it comes out. I think that relaxing the wrist, first of all, good club selection, because I can't really judge from your technique of hitting a bunker shot. I just think that you might be hitting a very good bunker shot, but maybe the long bunker shot is where you're struggling a little bit. So play around with the clubs, relax the wrist, because when you relax the wrist, you can create a bit more speed. So even though you don't have to hit such a big swing and the ball will still go. So play with that a little bit and let's see, all right? Okay, we have a friend from Thailand. That will be my last question for today, okay? Any advice for the golfer who just recovered the left shoulder block? Left shoulder block. I mean, I assume that is an injury, right? So, I would say if you're having an injury, if you're going out to play golf again, just gotta make sure you swing, maybe just take about half to 3/4 swing and what do you call that, maybe hit a longer club first, you know, don't try to hit your normal distance, and if you can, just make sure you ice it every time after you play, and just, yeah, spend some time. If you're practicing on the range, if you can have a chance, practice on the grass range, don't use the mat, hopefully that will help, and continue the physio or the workout or the exercises that you need to do, all right? All right, guys, thank you so much. Okay, one last question from Dawn, okay? How key is side bend at impact to maximizing distance? That is super, super important, Dawn. Okay, from this angle, the side bends means this, all right? So a lot of us tend to go from the top of the backswing straight away across like that and try to think that, yes, I'm turning, but technically in the golf swing, there is a side bend and a turn, right? So technically it's a side bend that gets the weight a bit more towards the left side, and then we rotate and then we explode from here and we extend our spine. That's how we follow through. So in order to work on this, I suggest, this was the other drill that I was working on. You're gonna try to put the butt of the club outside your right shoulder, okay, outside your right shoulder. Stand maybe about a fist away from the wall. All right, just now was backswing, now I'm going to talk about downswing. It's the same thing. And then on your downswing, just make sure it slides down the wall. The butt of the club slides down the wall, okay? It slides down the wall this way, and then it gives you a feel of the side bend, all right? So if you are not side bending, you're just turning this way, the club head will, the butt of the club is gonna hit the wall, all right? So it's really important. Side bend is super important. That's why we need flexibility, we need a strong back, strong glutes, strong core to play good golf, all right? All right, guys, thank you so much once again for watching and joining us. I feel like the questions are really, really good, and somewhat I think that all of you actually know what to work on and how important the small little things in golf in the swing is, all right? So thank you so much. Hopefully we'll do a live show again real soon. And I know that a lot of people has been asking me about my videos. Trust me, we are preparing them already. I'll be filming them real soon, and hopefully we'll get it out as soon as possible. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Everyone, good night to everyone in Asia, Malaysia. Have a good week ahead. For people in the US, UK, good morning. Have a good Sunday. Enjoy your week, and I'll see you guys again soon. Thank you very much.